English to Go, Different Types of Words, Episode 3.
Hello and welcome to another episode in the Virtual Language School's English to Go series of podcasts. My name's Emily.
And I'm Daniel.
And together we're going to help you learn English.
This is Episode 3 in our overview of some of the most common types of words in the English language. In Episodes 1 and 2, we looked at nouns, verbs, pronouns, adjectives, infinitives, articles and adverbs. We also spoke a little bit about the alphabet. Today we will continue by looking at auxiliary verbs, prepositions and short forms.
We can divide the verbs into different categories such as regular and irregular verbs, stative and action verbs, and normal and auxiliary verbs. To begin with, let's look at normal and auxiliary verbs.
Normal verbs are those such as sleep, eat, think and believe. They are verbs which are not made negative by simply adding not at the end. Other verbs such as can, is and have can be made negative by adding not at the end. These are called auxiliary verbs. For example, cannot or can't, is not or isn't, have not or haven't.
A good way to tell if a verb is an auxiliary is to see if by adding not it becomes negative. For example, do plus not is don't. So do is an auxiliary verb. But sleep plus not is sleepent. Sleepent does not exist, so sleep is not an auxiliary verb.
We have less than 20 auxiliary verbs in English. Here are some of the more common ones.
Be, have, can, might, may, will, could, would, should, ought to, dare, need, shall.
The word auxiliary means helping or supporting. These verbs are given the name auxiliary because they help normal verbs. They support them in forming negative sentences, questions, passives and other tenses. Let's take a look at some sentences with auxiliary verbs.
If the main verb in your sentence is a normal verb such as like, you will need to use an auxiliary verb to make the sentence negative or to make a question.
Do you like football?
At the beginning, helping the normal verb like to form the question is the auxiliary verb do. To provide the negative answer to this question, we again need the auxiliary.
I don't like football.
You also need the auxiliary verbs to form similar sentences in other tenses. Here are some more statements, this time about a car. They are in the future using the auxiliary will.
I won't like the car if you take the wheels off it. Will you like the car if I paint it pink?
Note: if the main verb of your sentence is the auxiliary be, then you don't need any other verb to make your sentence negative or to make a question. Take a look.
I am English. I am not French. Are you English?
Now let's move on to prepositions. Prepositions are words such as to, for, with, by, in, on, or off. They can be used to give information about place, movement and time, as well as to form idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs, which we'll be looking at in more detail in future episodes. Here are some more examples of prepositions.
Robert walked under the bridge, round the corner, then through a long tunnel to get to his house. When he arrived at his house, he walked up the long flight of stairs in the hall and got straight into bed.
Now contractions. A little earlier we mentioned the auxiliaries be, have and do. Well, these words and others can sometimes be joined together using the apostrophe into what we call contractions or short forms.
For example, we might say I'm as a shorter, quicker version of I am. Other examples are
we're from we are, it's from it is, and they're from they are.
The word contraction comes from the Latin words con, for with or together, and trahere, which means to pull, to bring or to draw, to bring together.
Note: short forms are generally more typical or characteristic of spoken than written English.
Well, as always, we hope you found this podcast useful. For more exercises on topics such as this, visit the Learning Library section of our website at www.virtuallanguageschool.com. There you will find free reference materials as well as activities to help you practice your reading, writing, listening and speaking skills and build your vocabulary.
We update our Learning Library all the time. A great way to find out whenever new material is added is by following us on Twitter at twitter.com/VLS_feed.
If you would like to have live in-person language classes with us over the internet, send us an email at info@virtuallanguageschool.com. Our team of teachers can guide you in your studies of English and many other languages.
So see you next time. Bye.